cracked one of the toughest examination in the country, and now she'll serve the nation with utmost dedication and integrity. The journey is truly inspiring for all of us, especially for the youth who has dream of making a difference in the society. We are very grateful to have her here today to share her experiences, her wisdom, as well as her insights. Please join me in giving a huge round of applause for Ms. Margi Shah. Please. I would like Saurabh sir to felicitate Margi. Please. Congratulations. I would like to give you a brief about Ms. Margi, that she has studied from St. Xavier School, Gujarat Board, and she has done her engineering from LT Engineering College in Computer Science, and she has started her preparation in 2019. If I talk about her hobby, she loves to read Western fiction books. Also, she loves to learn language which is Spanish, and her journey is filled with all ups and downs, laden with all kind of different experiences, but her goal to serve the society keeps her going. So without taking much of your time, may I request Margi ma'am to kindly come forward and grace the podium. Thank you.
First of all, good morning everyone. I need some more energy. Good morning. Thank you. मेरी आवाज़ खराब है, आप सबकी नहीं है. So please. Okay. First of all, मैम ने मेरा intro almost दे ही दिया है. So I started my preparation in 2020 and I cleared this examination in my 5th attempt. In the 2020 and 2021 attempt, I could not clear prelims. In the 22 attempt, I cleared prelims but could not clear mains. In 23 attempt, I cleared mains but not the interview. And finally, it took me 5 attempts to secure an All India rank and find my name in that holy PDF that you all would be aiming for. So, now not taking much of your time, let's focus on the strategy. Before I discuss that, I want to give you a disclaimer कि जो भी resources मैं share कर रही हूँ और जो भी अपने experience में बता रही हूँ, they are completely personal. This is not a quick guidebook कि ऐसे All India rank आ जाएगी. I'm not sure of it because मुझे भी 5 attempt लगे, right? And secondly, all of the recommendations or suggestions that I give you, take them with a pinch of salt. क्योंकि सबकी strengths और weaknesses अलग होती हैं, सबकी skills, capabilities अलग होते हैं, तो उस हिसाब से अपने routine, अपने schedule, अपने resources को follow कीजिए. Now, firstly, there was one question that I was asked कि which was your biggest hurdle? कौन सा था stage जो आपको सबसे ज़्यादा challenging लगा? So my answer to that was जो भी stage जब तक clear नहीं हुआ. क्योंकि prelims clear नहीं हुआ था beginning में and statistically that is the hardest stage क्योंकि वहाँ पे maximum लोग filter out हो जाते हैं. तो 2 attempts तक prelims was my biggest fear. Then in 22 I was able to secure my name in the mains qualified list in both CSE as well as forest. तो मेरा cut off दोनों का clear हुआ था. But जब mains नहीं निकला and I remember telling my friend in 22 after giving my mains and writing those 9 papers, yeah, I cannot do this. This is so much tougher than prelims और वो 2 घंटे are a bliss in front of this. Then when I qualified mains in my 2023, I got to the interview stage and for the first time facing honorable chairperson and the esteemed panel members in the UPSC Bhavan, that is a whole different experience, right? And तब उनके सामने ऐसे जाना और खुद को express करना, खुद की personality सामने रख पाना was very very difficult. So at that point I thought interview is the toughest stage because mains तो लिख लिया, वहाँ पे कोई आपको तुरंत judge नहीं कर रहा है, आप पेपर में जो लिख के आना है लिख के आ गए हो, and then they are going to evaluate at some point. But in interview you have to frame and articulate your answer in the 5 seconds that they give you in the between the pause. And you have to ensure that you give a balanced opinion, you maintain a calm demeanor, you also say no to the answers you don't know, and you cannot bluff. So that was the most difficult stage for me. Then, this time when I have secured a rank, and fortunately and very gratefully, Now I'm on the other side. I feel the journey and the challenges are only about to begin. But this was not even the trailer of what we were thinking about, right? So to all of you, I'll only give one message: keep on focusing on your efforts. है ना, डिफिकल्टी लेवल हमेशा बढ़ता जाएगा एट एवरी स्टेज, एंड जो स्टेज जब भी क्लियर नहीं हो पा रही है ना, वही सबसे ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट लगेगा. लेकिन वंस यू क्रॉस टू द अदर साइड, यू विल फेस बिगर चैलेंजेस एंड बेटर चैलेंजेस. ओके, सो यू विल डू गुड इन लाइफ only if you keep focusing on your efforts. Now let's discuss my strategy stage wise. Okay, let's first focus on the prelims now that it is very close, almost a month is left. So I'll share my book list, my resources, and then the strategy in general. So my book list for the major subjects: for modern India it was Spectrum, for polities it was Lakshmikant, for ancient it was the three themes books that we have, the new NCERTs. I read the old ones, but now that the questions are evolving, you need the new NCERTs. For the medieval, also the NCERTs will cover. For art and culture, I refer to Introduction to Fine Arts, class 11. And also for covering the kingdoms of South India, I refer to Tamil Nadu NCERT, which is a great source for the empires like Chola Empire and the others. Now when we come to geography, I read the NCERT from 6th to 12th, focused on the 11th because of the physiography. I think that is covered in class 11. Okay, so where were we? We were discussing the resources, right? So we discussed history, ancient, art and culture, and polity. Now for art and culture, I also refer to Nitin Singhania. I would recommend selective usage of that book, not cover to cover, because cover to cover is very bulky. So selectively use it, and the questions on architecture and the painting, the first two chapters, I think they are very prominent and very important. Secondly, for geography, I said 6 to 12 NCERT. 6 to 10 is very basic, so try to make notes of it after 1 or 2 times of reading, because that will suffice, and then you can move on to the 11th and 12th. Now geography is also being integrated with the questions from environment, so plan your resources accordingly. For environment, I refer to Shankar IAS book, but now the nature of questions has evolved a lot, so that book will be a little obsolete. You can refer to PMFIS's book as well, it has good resources. Then we go on to science and tech. Now science and tech generally does not have a single source, and I also covered it majorly from current affairs. Current affairs forms the key. Yes, for the basic questions of science, you could refer to the NCERTs from 6 to 10, they will suffice enough. And yes, the class 12th NCERT, which focuses on biotechnology, especially there are I think 4 chapters in the end, 9th and 11th, 12th, if I am not wrong. If I am wrong, please rectify it. But there are 4 chapters in biotechnology and its applications, so you can refer to that. They'll be helpful, especially on answering questions about genes and DNA and RNA. All of those concepts are covered in those NCERTs. Now what all is left? Current affairs, major one. Now before moving to current affairs, I'd say please do not ignore static. Everybody has their own strengths, I understand, but the importance of static is always there in the prelims paper. And the breadth and width of current affairs is so huge that it is almost impossible to cover all the current affairs and to address all the questions in the exam about the current affairs, right? So please focus on static. That is the strategy that I followed in the attempts that I cleared. I might have revised Lakshmikant at least more than 10 times. Right? And this is not to brag, but just to show that Lakshmikant always has something new to offer every time you read it. Every another time you read it, आपने कुछ ना कुछ छोड़ा होगा उसमें कि जैसे हाई कोर्ट के जजेस का अपॉइंटमेंट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस का अपॉइंटमेंट is done, one is done by the president and another is by the parliament, the increase in the number of judges, right? तो वो जो छोटे-छोटे minute details है ना, वो आपको हर एक बार जब आप पढ़ोगे तब नई नई चीजें आपके सामने आएंगी. And the way the questions are evolving, क्योंकि even the examiners know and the paper setters know कि ये लोग लक्ष्मीकांत ही पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन कितनी डेप्थ में आपने पढ़ी है वो हर बार वो चैलेंज होगा, right? So please read all those resources very very thoroughly. Now current affairs के लिए in the first 2 attempts I read PD 365. After that I took some current affairs classes from an institute, but my major takeaway from that was please stick to one resource. Now current affairs will create a lot of FOMO, and the amount of resources that are available in the market is increasing every day. You have first of all you have magazines from all the institutes, Then you have newspapers now having their UPSC essentials section different. तो आपको लगेगा कि ये सब यही यहाँ से पढ़ा है लेकिन यहाँ से पढ़ना बाकी रह गया है. Stick to one resource, maximum 2 resources. उससे ज्यादा आप करने जाओगे तो आप रिवाइज नहीं कर पाओगे और जो पढ़ा है वो याद नहीं रख पाओगे. अब अगर एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है कि ये ऑप्शन आएगा या नहीं आएगा, then वो कंटेंट पढ़ा हुआ बेकार है. If you are not able to understand that content, if you are not able to memorize it and use it in your examination to answer the question, then the relevance of it is almost none. Secondly, जो ये resources की मैंने बात की, they will always be complemented by test series. ठीक है, जब भी आप mock question solve करोगे, तभी आपको समझ में आएगा कि स्पेक्ट्रम में जो पढ़ना था वो आपने पढ़ा है या नहीं पढ़ा है. You will have read the names of the people who have started the tribal movements. You might have missed the reasons for some. And in the question, they are not asking the name but the reason. So जब आप question solve करोगे ना, तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि book में focus किस चीज पे करना है. So always try to attempt mocks and then to solve those mocks. क्योंकि question गलत हो गया. अब कौन सा question गलत हुआ है और उसको सही कैसे करना है, कौन सा ऑप्शन करेक्ट है और आपने क्या गलत किया था, अगर आप वो ही आपको नहीं पता तो कोई पॉइंट नहीं है वो मॉक सॉल्व करने का, है ना. तो आप जब भी कोई मॉक सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, जब भी कोई पेपर सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, हाफ लेंथ, फुल लेंथ, 50 क्वेश्चंस, 25 क्वेश्चंस, मेक श्योर दैट यू सॉल्व देम आफ्टर यू हैव गिवन द मॉक. Okay, now I also gave the Abhyas test that some of you might be giving recently. What Abhyas test does is it prepares you for the 4 hours similar to the examination day. जैसे किसी लोगों की आदत होती है कि वो रात को पढ़ते हैं, है ना, 3 बजे 4 बजे तक पढ़ते हैं फिर सो जाते हैं, तो तब 9 बजे आपका ब्रेन एक्टिव नहीं होता है. Those are not the very active hours of your brain. So what these Abhyas tests do, they simulate that atmosphere, they create that pressure, and they also give centers similar to the centers you get in UPSC, so that you can get a complete feel of what you're going to feel on that examination day. Secondly, it also gives you an idea कि आप CSAT पेपर तक कितने एग्जॉस्ट हो जाओगे, क्योंकि 9 to 11 you are focusing on GS, your brain is very very active and it's almost exhausted after you give in the examination, right? But you don't have to ignore CSAT. Those 2 hours after you've had your lunch, they're very difficult. You are lethargic, you are a little sleepy. For the people who don't eat in the breaks, you are a little hungry as well, right? So that you cannot allow your brain to function a little less, because the way we are seeing, the way the pattern of CSAT is evolving, you cannot at all ignore CSAT at any cost. Especially the paper in 23 and 24, the way those papers were framed, I think UPSC used a filter not just for GS but for CSAT as well. कि दोनों stages में हम बच्चों को बहुत ज़्यादा तराश लेंगे, परख लेंगे, right? Now that I've given you my book list for GS, I'll share कि CSAT में मैंने कोई specific book list follow नहीं की थी. What I did a lot of questions on a daily basis. I used to solve 5 questions of CSAT. On Friday or probably Saturday, I used to solve at least 40 questions of CSAT, and apart from that, I solved the papers from 2010 to 2020 जब तक मैंने अपना पहला अटेम्प्ट दिया. And CSAT में I've fortunately and luckily not failed. I have always gotten a decent marks of above 90. And also why it is so, because I did not ignore any section. There are 3 sections generally: RC, LR and Quant. Now Quant is very difficult. Quant is very difficult, especially for the people who are not from science background or from technical background. From humanities background, I understand it gets a little difficult. So for you there is RC and there is LR. Now LR is generally at a, I'd say, moderate level of difficulty. What I recommend is कि 2 sections को आप strong कर लें, 3 में से कोई भी 2 sections, and एक को आप manage कर लें. Because the type of questions that are coming in these 2 years at least, you cannot afford to ignore any section और किसी एक या 2 sections पे rely करके जाना, क्योंकि RCs are also becoming a little ambiguous और उसमें accuracy predict करवाना कि 27 में से आपकी 25 correct होंगे is almost impossible. At least for me it was. So I could not rely on any single section to pass the CSAT paper, right? I focused on all 3 sections, strengthened the 2 and managed the 1. Now the mindset in those 2 hours is also very very important. And okay, how many of you will be first attempters? Second? Anybody in third? Okay, great. So first attempt में ना इतना pressure नहीं होता है generally because you are very young, you're giving the examination for the first time, you're going to get a feel of it, you are not very very aware कि क्या क्या challenges आ सकते हैं. But जब second, third, fourth, fifth attempt तक जाता है, I gave prelims in my fifth attempt, so the pressure continuously keeps on rising. क्योंकि फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में एवरीबॉडी थिंक्स कि बच्चा है, शायद पहली बार में ना निकले क्योंकि यूपीएससी तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, सबसे नहीं निकलती है, राइट? यू विल गेट दैट बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट फॉर सेकंड अटेम्प्ट. थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में दैट प्रेशर स्टार्ट्स टू बिल्ड एंड इट बिल्ड्स मेटिकुलसली. In those 2 hours, you don't have to consider yourself as a first, second, third attempter, fourth attempter. You have to consider yourself as an aspirant who has gained significant knowledge, who has prepared very very well, given their 100% of their efforts, and now is very calm and confident in the knowledge that he possesses. चाहे आपका first attempt है, चाहे आपका fifth attempt है. So in my first attempt, I recall, I was sitting on a bench in a school, and there was a person in front of me. So after the GS paper was over, he looked at me. He asked me which attempt. I said first. He said, "Oh, first." And his condescending tone was because he thought first attempt में किसी का नहीं होता. And looking at my age, he also thought she's very young. कैसे निकाली? Now that could have discouraged me in my CSAT paper. What I thought was कि I am sitting with the same people who some of whom might probably be in the service, and yet we are at the same level in this hall right now. So for all the first attempters, do not take that pressure कि आपके साथ सर्विस में ऑलरेडी जो है ऑफिसर्स वो भी दे रहे हैं, कुछ रिपीटर्स दे रहे हैं, कुछ इंटरव्यू अपीयर दे रहे हैं. Go in with a fresh mind. And for all those who are giving in the second attempt or third attempt or fourth attempt, you have an edge. Consider yourself that कि मैंने एग्जाम पहले दी है, मुझे पता है क्या प्रेशर होता है, and I am better equipped than other people to keep a calm mindset in this examination. Secondly, उन 2 घंटों में आपको पेपर का लेवल एनालाइज नहीं करना है कि पेपर मॉडरेट है, टफ है, इजी है, कैसा है. 23 में सबने इवैल्यूएट कर लिया था कि टफ है. I understand it was tough because of the change in pattern of the options, only 2 statements. 24 में फिर सबको लगा कि ये तो बहुत easy है. हाँ, बहुत easy नहीं था वो. It was just easier compared to 2023. तो जब बहुत easy किया तो बहुत लोगों ने ज़्यादा attempt कर लिए because they thought the cutoff will be higher. And that might have backfired on some people who might have drastically changed the strategy. अगर आप अपनी mocks में 70 questions, 80 questions attempt कर रहे हैं, and you analyze the paper in the examination hall and you thought नहीं यार मैं 90 कर देता हूँ क्योंकि what if कट ऑफ हाई चला गया और मेरी एक्यूरेसी बढ़िया हो गई तो कितना बढ़िया हो जाएगा, I will clear the prelims. That does not happen. आपने अपनी स्ट्रेटजी ना किसी चीज की वजह से, किसी एक्सपीरियंस की वजह से, किसी नॉलेज की वजह से बनाई है. तो हैव बिलीव इन योर स्ट्रेटजी. अगर आपको कुछ चेंज करना है तो यू गो 2-3 क्वेश्चंस प्लस माइनस. Do not drastically change your way of attempting the paper or the way of determining the number of questions that you will attempt. And thirdly, do not consider yourself to be short of knowledge if you cannot attempt a certain question that appears easy on its face. हो सकता है आपने रेपो रेट, आपने प्रेसिडेंट पार्लियामेंट बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ा है, बट उस टाइम पे आपको क्लिक नहीं हो पा रहा है. I don't think कि मेरे बाजू वाले को तो ये आता ही होगा क्योंकि like basic. It's not basic. Nothing is basic in the prelims examination. Every question is as important as the another one. It is as easy or difficult as the another one. Because your difficulty level more than the content of the question depends on your mindset. तो आप अगर confident mindset से जा रहे हैं कि ये नहीं तो अगला और ये नहीं तो उससे अगला, you do one question at a time, one answer at a time, very nicely. In my attempts, in the last attempt that I qualified, I had done approximately 30 to 32 questions which I was sure कि ये पक्का correct है answers. Then in approximately 40 questions I took an educated guess जहाँ पे I was 50-50 कि ये होगा नहीं होगा, A और B में confusion ऐसा. And in the next 10 questions, I took a complete guess between 3 options कि एक तो मैं eliminate कर पा रही हूँ, लेकिन बाकी 3 eliminate नहीं हो रहे हैं. But because I had a strategy, I had given multiple mocks with this कि मैं 90 तक, 90 was my limit. 90 से एक भी ज़्यादा नहीं करना, चाहे पेपर कितना भी easy हो. But 85 से 90 के बीच में was my limit. So I took those guesses. My point of telling you this is कि I stuck to that strategy even in 23 and 24 and 22 जिन तीनों times I could clear prelims. So 23 में I attempted around 85 because that was difficult. In 24 I attempted almost 88, 89 because that was comparatively easy. अब comparatively easy पेपर में मैंने नहीं सोचा था, मैं जब बाहर आई एग्जामिनेशन हॉल की तब मैंने लोगों की बातें सुनी, तब मुझे समझ में आया. Okay, another takeaway from this: do not talk to people. Majorly, do not talk to people, especially the people that ask you आपका कौन सा attempt है, आपने ये पढ़ा, मुझे लगता है ये आएगा, ये टॉपिक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. They are not setting the paper. They are similar aspirants like you. किसी को नहीं पता है पेपर में क्या आएगा. अगर आप ये माइंडसेट से जाते हैं ना कि ये आएगा और सपोज ये नहीं आया या आएगा आपको बता दिया और अगर गलती से आ गया तो आपने वो पढ़ा भी है तो आप भूल जाओगे क्योंकि लास्ट मोमेंट पे नहीं पढ़ा था, शायद मुझे याद ही नहीं है. डू नॉट डू दैट. Try and avoid talking to people unless and until obviously they are your very good friends and they wish the best for you. उनसे आप बात कर सकते हो, लेकिन do not try to avoid talking to unknown people who are only going to pique your anxieties. In one of my state civil services mains, a person came to me and he told me, please revise the Gujarat architecture. Definitely a question आएगा उसमें से. And I had not prepared very well on Gujarat. Not that good, I'd say. And I got tensed कि अगर आ गया तो क्या करूँगी. And then as soon as the paper came, I saw and I was like, नहीं आया, it's okay, I'm okay, it's going to be okay. तो खुद से बात करो कि I am going to be okay. This is an examination that I definitely want to clear. लेकिन nothing is the end of life, right? This was my basics of prelims. Now let's go on to mains. Mains में सबसे easy and difficult both is essay. Essay gives you ample scope. Yes. Okay, economy was missed. Correct. Economy में पहले I refer to Ramesh Singh. Then in my 23 and 24 attempt, I refer to Nitin Singhania. Nitin Singhania is proving to be a very good source in economy because it has pointers format. It has all the relevant information. थोड़ा सा information overload है, लेकिन selectively आप पढ़ोगे तो economy cover हो जाएगा. And obviously you cannot miss the NCERTs. Like NCERT 11th was my macroeconomy वाली. I don't remember the standard 11th or 12th, but that is the base. सारे concepts of repo rate, reverse repo, capital markets, balance of payments, all of this added from NCERT only. So any of the other resources that you do, please build them on NCERTs. NCERTs are a must. ठीक है, और कोई subject बच गया? Any questions on prelims? Then we can go on to mains. Yes. ठीक है. तो पॉलिटी हमने 5 ही दिन पहले किया था. जब है ना पॉलिटी 5 दिन पहले किया था. 5 ही दिन पहले किया है. और पॉलिटी में कवर टू कवर तो क्वेश्चंस आने नहीं है. You know the basics. Believe in yourself कि आपने जो पढ़ा है ना आपको याद रहेगा. I can assure you that. So in my 24 attempt, like on 30th April, I remember messaging my mentor. I had just given an abhyas test and I did not score very well. So I messaged my mentor. I said, "Sir, होगा क्या इस बार?" Mindset सबका यही होता है. होगा क्या इस बार? हो जाएगा. Now what you are asking कि एक दिन पहले या 2 दिन पहले क्या करें? Do the low hanging fruits. जैसे करंट अफेयर्स में आपने IR जो है, मैपिंग जो है, वो आप कर सकते हैं. ज्योग्राफी में स्ट्रेट्स हैं, लेक्स हैं, माउंटेन्स हैं, कहाँ पे पड़ते हैं वो, विंड्स है थोड़ी, आई थिंक ओशन करंट्स हैं, ये सब ना लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स हैं. कभी मैच द फॉलोइंग में आ गए तो 2 मार्क्स वैसे ही मिल जाएंगे. तो ट्राई टू डू दोस लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स. एंड सेकेंडली द थिंग्स दैट नीड क्विक रिमेम्बरेंस. जैसे एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री की कुछ चीजें ना याद नहीं रहती हैं. इट हैज अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड. तो अगर आपको लगता है कि वो वीक पार्ट है एंड वो मुझे बहुत टाइम तक याद नहीं रहेगा, तो डू इट इन द लास्ट, जब तक मतलब प्रीलिम से बहुत क्लोज आप वो कर सकते हैं. अब मेरे हिसाब से मेरे केस में ऐसा था कि पॉलिटी आई वाज गुड एट, मॉडरेट एट. हिस्ट्री आई वाज मॉडर्न इंडिया आई वाज गुड एट, बट आई हैड टू रिवाइज ऑन द करंट अफेयर्स क्योंकि वो मैंने एक ही बार करे थे और मुझे सब करने थे. तो व्हाट आई डिड द 3 days बिफोर द प्रीलिम्स, आई टुक माय करंट अफेयर्स नोट्स एंड दिन में 2 सब्जेक्ट्स आई ट्राइड टू कवर. उससे पहले भी मैंने एक बार रिवाइज किया था, इट वाज नॉट जस्ट कि लेक्चर के बाद पहले ही कर लिया, तो इतने टाइम में नहीं होगा. तो वो आप कर सकते हैं. लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स को उठाइए और जो टफ चीजें हैं रिमेंबर करने के लिए आपके हिसाब से उसे आप उन 2-3 दिन में रिवाइज कीजिए. यस, एनीबॉडी एल्स? जी, ओके. पहले मैं आपका सेकंड क्वेश्चन एड्रेस करूंगी डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूट से करनी चाहिए फॉर द रीजन कि पेपर सेटर एक इंस्टीट्यूट में एक होता है, उसका एक सिग्निफिकेंट मतलब एक पर्टिकुलर माइंडसेट हो सकता है, राइट? तो जब आप दूसरी इंस्टीट्यूट्स की करते हैं तो आप वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस जो है ना वो आपकी बढ़ जाती है, डाइवर्सिटी बढ़ जाती है। तो उस डाइवर्सिटी को एड्रेस करने के लिए आप 2-3 इंस्टीट्यूट्स की कर सकते हैं, नॉट मोर। एंड सेकेंडली कितनी करनी चाहिए दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द अटेम्प्ट। जैसे मैंने फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट में बहुत टेस्ट सीरीज लगाई थी, मतलब मैंने बहुत की थी। आई कैन नॉट से द नंबर, आई कैन नॉट रिमेंबर, लेकिन काफी। लेकिन माय थर्ड अटेम्प्ट व्हाट आई डिड वाज आई डिड 50 क्वेश्चंस एवरी डे। तो लास्ट में मैंने सिर्फ आई थिंक अभ्यास की 3 मतलब 6 सीसैट के साथ और 4 सीसैट इंक्लूडेड, तो मैंने 10 ही की थी, मतलब मैंने 5 जीएस के पेपर सॉल्व किए थे। Why so less? Because with the time I had, I thought कि मैं अगर 15 या 20 अटेम्प्ट करूंगी तो मैंने सॉल्व नहीं कर पाऊंगी, और अगर सॉल्व नहीं कर पाऊंगी तो उसका आंसर क्या है वो मुझे पता ही नहीं, तो वो क्वेश्चन एड्रेस करने का पॉइंट नहीं रहा, है ना? तो इतनी टेस्ट दीजिए जितनी आप सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, और लास्ट में आपकी नोट्स या आपकी टेस्ट सीरीज में मतलब आपने जो गलत किए हैं ना उस पे फोकस कीजिए, वो साइड में नोट कर लीजिए कहीं पे। माय टेस्ट पेपर यूज्ड टू बी फुल ऑफ रेड मार्क्स, क्योंकि जो भी इन्फो मतलब वो आंसर्स में से मिलता था आई यूज्ड टू नोट इट डाउन उधर ही, एंड देन आई यूज्ड टू रिवाइज बिफोर प्रीलिम्स लाइक 10 डेज 15 डेज, देख लेती थी मैं कहां गलती हुई है, स्पेशली इन द स्टैटिक पार्ट अगर कहीं गलती हुई है तो वो नहीं होनी चाहिए। दैट वाज माय फोकस। तो आप ये कर सकते हैं, टेस्ट सीरीज को सॉल्व करें, उसकी अलग से मतलब उसी पेपर में नोट्स कवर कर लें एंड यू विल बी गुड टू गो। यस समबडी, यस।
Like it's very challenging. So do you think that there is any extra effort that needs to be put into it for the science background students, or the NCERTs are sufficient?
Okay. So now this can be seen in 2 ways. आप साइंस से हैं, आपको ह्यूमैनिटीज पढ़ना पड़ रहा है, दैट इज अ चैलेंज क्योंकि आपने 10वीं के बाद नहीं पढ़ा है, लेकिन आप साइंस से हैं, यू नो हार्ड वर्क, राइट? You know the time you've spent in your 11th and 12th preparing for some competitive examination. So you put in those hours of hard work. You don't have the content, but you have the value and the habit that is needed in this examination. तो आप extra efforts कुछ नहीं करते हैं because everything is a new subject. और starting with it is very interesting also because when you are reading, see why is it interesting and why it was not interesting in our school? 2 major reasons. एक, ये dates याद रखना और कहाँ हुआ था, किसने किया था, वो नहीं है. It is much deeper. You have to analyze the impacts, the consequences, the causes, social, economic, historical, political, all of it. So try to engage with that subject. वो passively आप read करेंगे ना तो challenging लगेगा, disinteresting लगेगा कि science पढ़ा है, there is all logic, इधर logic नहीं है, memorization है. But when you interconnect the events ना तो logic आपको समझ में आएगा. And when you analyze it on a deeper level, with a holistic perspective, that will become interesting for you rather than challenging. Okay? Yes. Yes, it will be okay. But if you are attempting in 28, try to read newspapers. ठीक है? Static you will cover, I think in the 3 years that you have, you will very well cover. But for the current affairs, you need to have a little awareness. So 22 में and 23 में, I think there was a question that was asked on something 3 or 4 years back. Now, if you've read newspaper ना, click हो जाएगा वो कि यहाँ मैंने ये चीज़ पढ़ी थी. I think that was Miyawaki method. Miyawaki was very significant during the 2020 and 21, and the question was asked in 22, if I'm not wrong, 22 या 23. तो वो 2 साल पहले हो चुकी थी वो चीज़. लेकिन अगर आपने पढ़ी है न्यूज़पेपर में, I also remember a cutting from Indian Express की वो नीचे फर्स्ट पेज पे नीचे जो आता है वहाँ पे आया था Miyawaki. That is urban forestation. So अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़ते हो तो you will get an idea and awareness about it. That's it. 1 year will be enough. And secondly, current affairs is always integrated somehow with static. So even if you don't know the specific event that they are asking about, it's okay. You can build on your static knowledge and you can take an educated guess in it. Yes.
What's the key factor which led to clear the prelims in your third attempt and not in the first and
second attempt? Yes. Okay. So I missed the prelims by a very short margin. In the first attempt, I missed it by 7 to 8 marks. The second one I missed by 2 marks. और उसमें एक question cancel हुआ था, right? So, but the differentiating factor I believe, one was मैंने 2022 में January से रोज 50 questions every day solve किए थे from Monday to Friday of GS and Saturday for CSAT. Okay, so I came across a lot of questions. Now that helped me to cultivate a habit कि जब भी मैं unknown questions देख रही हूँ उसमें educated guess में कैसे लिखूँ. right? So that habit is cultivated when you attempt a lot of questions in not a single day, but आप evolve कर रहे हो basically आपकी strategy को, ठीक है? तो that help. You are giving which attempt? First. At this stage, try not to self-evaluate because we do not know the demand of the question and what the evaluator expects from us. ठीक है? तो once you develop that knowledge, once you have that habit, फिर आप self-evaluate कर सकते हो. But I'd say in the initial attempt that you have, I hope you clear the first one itself. So try not to self-evaluate. किसी अच्छी evaluator, mentor से evaluate करवाइए. वो आपको evaluation भी देगा. वो आपकी notes को भी build करेगा जब आप answers लिख रहे हैं. So I think self-evaluation comes in the third attempt, I guess, when you have significant amount of knowledge, you understand what to write, but you are not able to write. That is a different ballgame. This is what you write. Yes. You have faculties here. I think they'll be evaluating your answers. Okay. See, there are different channels on Telegram, different platforms also that allow you to submit your answers. And then they'll evaluate. Okay, so you can submit the answers of your own choice and they'll give you the evaluation. Those platforms will be shared with you and you will know from your peers as well. It's not important, very very important to get it checked from your peers because if they are at the same stage, then what's the difference between you and them? ठीक है, आपको अच्छा बोलेगा, आप उसको अच्छा बोलोगे. Everybody is doing a bubble. That's not what we want. Okay, so you have these platforms. You can utilize those platforms and get them evaluated. कितने आंसर्स लिखे हैं आपने अभी तक? मतलब 20, 25,
26 में देने वाला हूँ.
नहीं, आपने कितने क्वेश्चंस लिखे हैं? 50, 100, 20, 25. Okay, great. So you have written a significant amount of answers. That is good. Now what happens is your writing skill evolves. My first 50 answers are very laughable. कि कोई अगर देखेगा तो they wouldn't consider me कि मैं रैंक ला सकती हूँ because that's where you begin. शुरुआत में सब बुरे ही आंसर्स लिखते हैं and even if today you tell me to write a test and then evaluate बाद में 3-4 घंटे बाद I'll still have points to add. So perfect कभी आंसर्स नहीं हो सकते हैं, ठीक है? You will never achieve that level of satisfaction. Not possible. And that shows that you're willing to improve. That is not a bad thing that you are not satisfied with your answers because that is what will push you to add value to your answers. So don't be satisfied, but be content कि इस moment पे मेरा जितना knowledge है और जितनी skill है उस हिसाब से I'm writing good, but I will improve. Okay, तो quality के लिए मैंने बनाए थे बहुत अच्छे खासे notes बनाए थे. जैसे constitutional और non-constitutional bodies है तो उनका एक tabular format में बना दिया तो I think 12-13 chapters are dealt with that. Then Parliament I had almost 5 pages of notes. President के I had notes. Parliament ने फिर क्या किया? Parliament और State Legislature का साथ-साथ में bracket कर दिया. दो chapters हो गए. आपका President और Governor हो गया. Supreme Court, High Court हो गया. वैसे साथ-साथ में जो similarities हैं State और Central structure में वो आप कर लीजिए. Emergency के notes tabular format में बन जाएंगे. Center-state relations, interstate relations is a necessary topic. So try not to avoid that. And first से 11 chapters जो है लक्ष्मीकांत के, I think वो तो सभी पढ़ लेते हैं. Okay, one tip I'd like to give you on that is do not always start revising from first chapter. क्योंकि फिर first से 11 chapters brilliant, amazing, and last के chapters don't know. So start from the beginning once. Second time when you're doing it, पीछे से शुरुआत कीजिए. ताकि सारे चैप्टर्स को आप अच्छे से डील कर रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ फंडामेंटल राइट्स डीपीएसपी और प्रीएम्बल आ रहा है बस. फिर पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस में पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. Don't do that. So first of all, it should not be humiliating. One, क्यों? क्योंकि ये फाइनल एग्जाम तो है नहीं. ये आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. तो जब क्रिकेट में बंदा को प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो पहले तो 50 रन मार नहीं देता है ना. 50 रन मार चुका होता है तो अभी नहीं मार पाता है ना. बहुत सारे ऑफिसर्स हैं जो ऑफिसर्स बन गए उसके बाद भी शायद उनसे प्रीलिम्स क्लियर नहीं होती है. That is not a subject of humiliation. Secondly, क्यों मार्क्स कम आ रहे हैं? That is to be analyzed. कि जो आपने मेमोराइज किया है वो आपको याद नहीं रह रहा है, जो आपने रिसोर्स पढ़ा है उसमें से क्वेश्चंस नहीं आ रहे हैं, या फिर आपको याद है लेकिन आप उस मोमेंट पे सिली मिस्टेक कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, वो एनालिसिस इज मतलब इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंड दैट विल बी द डिफरेंशिएटर rather than just focusing on the marks. whatever mock you give is not for how much you score. It is for analyzing which subject is your strength, which is your weakness, which is your strength in the form of static or current affairs. ठीक है? तो whatever examinations or whatever mocks you give, try to analyze कि short कितने थे, short में से अच्छा what I did while attempting the test was I divided my test answer sheet into 4 sections: short, educated guess and not attempted. Okay. Now अगर short में आपकी accuracy नहीं आ रही है, तो that is a problem. अगर educated guess में accuracy नहीं आ रही है, तो see what factors you use while taking that guess and what factors are not working. Thirdly, उसमें जब आप guess ले रहे हैं, तो analyze कीजिए कौन से factors पे आप वो guess कर रहे हैं, और अगर आपके guesses अच्छे नहीं जा रहे हैं, then try to minimize those what do you say, तुक्के कि 3 options में से आप eliminate कर रहे हैं, and try to shift some of them in the range of educated guess, आपका knowledge expand करके, right? And not attempted को analyze इस तरीके से करिए कि कौन से subjects आप attempt नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. जैसे मेरे लिए it used to be the ancient and medieval part, especially the medieval part. I was not very well versed with it, so I could not attempt those questions. But I knew कि ये part मुझे नहीं आता है, तो जब main examination में भी वो questions आएंगे, तो I know कि इसको मैं एकदम last में देखूंगी, क्योंकि generally I'm not very built up with knowledge on that. And आप पहली बार पढ़ेंगे या मतलब पढ़ चुके हैं पहले. Okay, for everybody who's not read the NCERTs and who's going to read it once for the first time, do not highlight anything in the first time or the second time, because by 5th time your entire book will be yellow and you don't know what to do with that book. है ना? फिर आप फिर से नई बुक शुरू करेंगे because ये बुक तो येलो हो चुकी है, right? So first, second time जब आप read कर रहे हैं, तब try and just read. If you need, underline with a pencil, okay? And in the 3rd, 4th time when you are reading, highlight it. So you will know what important aspects are there to be highlighted and what is to be left off. But उसके लिए पहले आपको line to line पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Yes.
Ma'am, did you make notes for history? Like it's very vast, so how to cover it shortly in notes?
Okay, I did make notes for history, especially for modern India, because there are certain points which are to be memorized. और जो मेमोराइज करने वाले पॉइंट्स है वो अगर आपने नोट्स में लिख लिए ना, तो स्पेक्ट्रम में से ढूंढना नहीं पड़ेगा एट दैट मोमेंट कि इस लाइन में ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीज थी या इस लाइन में इंपॉर्टेंट नाम था. लाइक आई रिमेंबर इन अ मॉक दैट वाज आस्क्ड कि नो गॉड, नो कास्ट, नो मैनकाइंड, समथिंग लाइक दैट वाज द कोट. इट वाज सेड बाय हूम, एंड इन स्पेक्ट्रम इट वाज रिटन सहद्रन अय्यप्पन, इफ आई रिमेंबर करेक्टली. बट क्योंकि मैंने पहली 2 बार पढ़ी थी और मैंने वो चीज़ हाईलाइट नहीं की थी, वो चीज़ मुझे पता नहीं थी, तो आई स्किप्ड ओवर दैट पार्ट. तो जैसे जैसे आप मॉक्स देंगे ना, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है जो आपके नोट्स में लिखने हैं. सेकेंडली, ओनली नोट दोज पॉइंट्स दैट यू कांट रिमेंबर, है ना? सब कुछ अगर आप लिखेंगे तो दूसरी स्पेक्ट्रम अपने हाथ में है, दैट हैज नो पॉइंट. ओके, ओनली राइट दोज थिंग्स दैट यू कैन नॉट रिमेंबर एंड ट्राई टू रिवाइज इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स. और जो आपकी टेस्ट सीरीज में आपको नया कंटेंट मिल रहा है फॉर हिस्ट्री, try to incorporate it within those notes itself, कहीं पे blocks में बना के do that. That will help you. Yes. Anybody else?
एंड मोमेंट पे क्या मतलब टेस्ट सीरीज के जो आंसर्स जो आपने बोला कि एनालाइज करके रखने साइड में, वो रिवाइज करना या फिर पीवाईक्यूज करना?
अच्छा, PYQs तो हमने really नहीं की. Okay. I cannot emphasize on the importance of PYQs enough. PYQs should be the base of giving all the mocks, क्योंकि all the mocks aside, PYQs are actually given by UPSC. अगर UPSC आपको कोई direction पहले से दे रहा है, and it has been giving it to you for so many years, it would almost be foolish not to see those questions. I did it in the last 2 attempts, 23 and 24. PYQs कैसे करने हैं, ऐसे नहीं question है और ये answer है और खत्म. चारों options क्या हैं? उन चारों options के बारे में थोड़ी info, थोड़ा नॉलेज, और उस हिसाब से फिर जब भी कोई और क्वेश्चन में ये ऑप्शन दिखेगा तो यू नो द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ इट, यू कैन एलिमिनेट इट और यू कैन सिलेक्ट इट बेस्ड ऑन द नॉलेज यू हैव. सो डू PYQs very thoroughly. Okay, at this part I'll also address the question of reading a newspaper. I read the newspaper in 28 and 29. उससे पहले I had never even touched a newspaper, at least for subjects that we need to focus on right now. न्यूज़पेपर क्या करता है, आपकी एक अवेयरनेस बिल्ड करता है कि दुनिया में चल क्या रहा है, देश में चल क्या रहा है. फॉर सम पीपल हु आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द टेक बैकग्राउंड, हमारा तो बिल्कुल ही टच नहीं होता है, राइट? So read newspapers in the initial attempts. Newspapers में से notes बनाना personally for me was difficult. I don't say कि newspaper में से notes बनाने चाहिए, नहीं बनाने चाहिए. मैं नहीं बना पाती थी क्योंकि उसको मैं revise नहीं कर पाती थी. So I just read newspaper for building that awareness. I used to take less time. कभी-कभी क्योंकि newspapers are very lengthy, it could take you 3-4 hours also. Please try to minimize the time to maximum 1 hour. और prelims के पहले, if you are not referring to newspaper for your current affairs, you can. I'm not saying you should or you must. You can stop reading newspaper and focus on your static and current affairs resources that you have relied on for your preparation. Okay. तो CSAT में जैसे मैंने बोला कि आप PYQs कर सकते हैं. उसके अलावा ना there are books coming from even SSC CGL. ठीक है, तो वो भी अच्छा मैथ्स का बैकग्राउंड प्रोवाइड करते हैं. But what I recommend is कि जो भी आप इंस्टीट्यूट्स की मॉक्स दे रहे हैं उसमें आप CSAT की भी दीजिए, उसे स्किप ना कीजिए. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस करेंगे ना, तो अगर आपको फॉर्मूला भी नहीं पता है तो भी विदाउट फॉर्मूला यू विल गेट अ नैक ऑफ इट कि ऑप्शंस में से कहीं कुछ लगा के, कुछ फॉर्मूला लगा के आप एनालाइज कर सकते हैं, इवन इफ यू डोंट नो द फॉर्मूला डायरेक्टली. दैट कैन बी डन. ओके. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट मॉक्स और PYQs के अलावा ट्राई टू मेमोराइज छोटे-छोटे फॉर्मूलाज जो होते हैं, जो एकदम शॉर्ट अगर कहीं आ गए तो आप, जैसे कैलेंडर है या ब्लड रिलेटिव्स है, ये सब बहुत इजियर टॉपिक्स हैं. अगर आप कर लें, those are the low hanging fruits. Low hanging fruits पे don't miss on it. Yes.
Ma'am, CSAT के लिए as you told, like 23 was my very first attempt and उसमें CSAT के जो question थे वो बहुत drastically अलग थे. So approaching in a very traditional way, I was like failing miserably. Like CSAT के question को attempt करने. Then I changed my strategy, but then later I saw that those questions have been like they have started asking them again. So वो strategy को कितना traditional रखना चाहिए और कितना like जो lately 23 के attempt में आया था.
Okay. So traditional से what do you mean? I first need to know that.
I mean, like as you said, blood relations, the clocks, and the calendar, and all those type of questions were barely any questions were asked. So that is what I'm asking. Because
Okay.
question 23 में बिल्कुल नहीं, almost like what?
Right. Okay. So 23 और 24 you have seen कि वो questions का pattern evolve हो रहा है. Now traditional approach is necessary क्योंकि अगर blood relatives में से आ गया ना तो वो सब कर सकते हैं. वो तो मतलब ऐसी बात है कि पॉलिटी में अगर आपको पूछ लिया कि FR में 14 to 19 कौन से राइट के लिए हैं and you're like मैंने हर एक राइट डिटेल में पढ़ा है लेकिन मुझे 14 to 19 नंबर याद नहीं, that you cannot miss. So these topics that I mentioned, those are the bare minimum. अब जैसे जैसे पैटर्न इवॉल्व हो रहा है वैसे वैसे certainly you need to change your approach, change your strategy and whatever you are studying, but do not miss out on the easier questions. So these are the ones that are easy and that the non-tech background ones also can handle. लास्ट मोमेंट में मंथली मैगजीन रिवाइज करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है. अगर आपने उसमें से भी कोई नोट्स बनाए नहीं है तो बनाए हो तो फिर मंथली मैगजीन ही करिए क्योंकि PD 365 is another new material that you will have to read, then revise and re-revise. उसमें बहुत टाइम लगेगा. अगर आपने अपने नोट्स बनाए हैं, have faith in your notes. Yes, this is a point for everybody. Have faith in your notes. Whatever notes you've written, they are good. You have applied your mind while making those notes. So do not consider कि मेरे notes अच्छे हैं या नहीं है. I don't know. I'll rely on somebody else's notes or topper's notes. सबने अपनी समझ से अपने notes बनाए होते हैं और आपने भी अपनी समझ से अपने notes बनाए हैं. तो please stick to your own notes and have faith in them. Okay. Yes. Okay. So are you asking just for prelims or for all the 3 stages?
For all the stages.
Okay. For prelims, a significant change was to practice every day rather than giving mocks during the prelims. That was one significant change. Secondly, having a calm mind and demeanor. That was another change. And thirdly, to be confident in whatever I prepared. So I had a ritual with my friend wherein we, I'm not recommending this, okay? To all those who don't practice this, please don't take it as an advice कि सबको follow करना चाहिए. Disclaimer. Yes, so the ritual was कि शाम को 6 बजे, one day before prelims, we'll keep down our notes, we'll close our eyes and we'll say that we've studied all that we could. अब हमसे और कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ा जाएगा और हमने जो पढ़ा है वो enough है to answer the questions that we need to clear the cutoff. हमें जो आता है वही आएगा, हमें जो नहीं आता वो questions नहीं आएंगे. ठीक है? Yes. Now see, पढ़ना जो है वो तो सबने पढ़ लिया है. ठीक है, अब now one day before and on that day the game is of a mindset. तो mindset बनाने में क्या दिक्कत है कि हमें सब आता है, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं होना है. This is not what I'm preaching. What I'm preaching is to instill confidence in yourself. अगर आपको अपने में कॉन्फिडेंस होगा ना तो बाकी चार लोगों को भी लगेगा हाँ he is calm, I believe उसने कर लिया है, उसको आता है सब. That will give you more confidence, right? So have that demeanor. Okay. So my motive was actually to serve the society and also the diversity that this service provides. I do not think, according to my limited knowledge, that any other service, apart from the All India services that we have, the central services that we have, I don't think any other career path could give me this opportunity to interact with so many people from so many different sections and to be able to make even a small change or impact in the lives. If we compare तो नहीं बोलूँगी, but IT is very different, right? And I come from that background. Now I have had talks with my friends who some of them wouldn't even believe कि इंडिया में सब जगह इंटरनेट नहीं है या सबके पास मोबाइल फोन नहीं है. Their solution to anything would be technology. But technology is not that widespread. There is a huge disparity. So वो disparity को understand करना is important. And this examination and this service, like this career path, helped me understand that. And then once I saw that disparity, I was like, I do not want to remain ignorant in this. And I actually want to make that change where what the IT people believe is turned into a reality.
So there are a lot of intimidating realities about the profession as well, and there are a lot of challenges that are involved. So when you were motivating yourself to stick to that motive that you had since the beginning, how did you handle that thought that maybe I might not be able to do what I want to do because of the challenges that are there? Because once you have failed once or twice or thrice, that might become dominating on your mind that this might not be something that I might be able to do. So how to fight those thoughts?
Okay, so I believe this question can be handled in two ways. One is the challenges that I'll face after becoming a civil servant, right? Now, which career path is not challenging? Every career path is challenging in its own different ways. What is your motivation to do that decides your decision or the paths. Now, secondly, see, we are all learning in our lives. Okay? So, today I might feel that I am not well equipped to deal with those challenges. But there are institutions who are going to train me. There are people that I am going to meet with, who are going to share their own experiences, their wisdom. And apart from that, as an individual, if I want to make a change, I'll have to face the challenges. That is the reality I need to accept rather than the reality that there are challenges. There are challenges everywhere. हमें उस challenges को जब तक acknowledge या accept नहीं करेंगे, तब तक उसके साथ deal कैसे करेंगे? And if we run away from those challenges, who's going to improve that? Right? So, in every situation, in every career, there are going to be different challenges. You decide which challenges you want to deal with. So I decided I wanted to deal with this. And I will be equipped, I will evolve myself, I will improve myself so that I'm better equipped at every stage to deal with the challenges. Secondly, the point that you said कि वो thoughts intimidate नहीं करते. I think I was too focused on my efforts and I was too focused on my shortcomings as to why I can't clear the examination. कि वो थॉट्स तो आए नहीं कि सर्विस में घुसने के बाद इतने चैलेंजेस है तो मैं क्यों करूं या कैसे करूं. पहले प्रूव तो करो कि आप उस सर्विस के लायक हो, उसके बाद तो आप उसकी चैलेंजेस को एड्रेस करोगे, राइट? तो पहले आई हैड टू प्रूव दैट आई हैड द कैपेबिलिटी टू एंटर इनटू सच अ प्रेस्टिजियस सर्विस. देन आफ्टर आई हैड टू डील विद दोस चैलेंजेस एंड थिंक अबाउट दैट.
खुद को तो एक्नॉलेज कर लेते हैं, पर आजू बाजू में कई नेगेटिव एंटिटीज होती है, तो आप उनके लिए क्या करते थे? मतलब
the attempt that I finally cleared this one, I did not tell anybody that I was giving this attempt. that worked. Okay, giving me a single digit rank. So see, you have to identify the well-wishers, and not everybody is a well-wisher, and a lot of people are might not be comfortable with that very fact कि आपकी examination इतनी अच्छी examination, इतनी prestigious examination के लिए आप prepare भी कर रहे हो. That is also a big deal in itself. But do not hype yourself up with that. And secondly, the people who feel are giving you the negative vibrations, try to distance yourself from them. And thirdly, try to develop a thick skin. बहुत लोग see, tough is not seeing कि control F के बाद आपका नाम ही मिल रहा है. Tough is telling 500 people that हाँ मेरा नाम नहीं आया. Right? खुद को तो पता होता है कि हट के रिजल्ट नहीं आया, ठीक है अगला अटेम्प्ट दे देंगे. सबको ये कन्विंस करना है कि मैं अगला अटेम्प्ट देके निकाल लूंगी एग्जामिनेशन. वो बिलीफ ना हर अटेम्प्ट के साथ धीरे धीरे कम होता जाता है. एंड इफ यू आर अ ब्राइट स्टूडेंट लाइक तुझसे कैसे नहीं हो पा रहा है? Because it is tough. And it is very very different from school and college. So negative चीजें तो हमेशा रहेंगी. Develop that thick skin. और अगर आप कर सकते हैं ये कि आप ना बताएं किसी को तो बहुत बढ़िया है. आप देख लीजिए फिर रैंक आए तो मुझे बताइए. If the strategy worked. Okay. Anybody else? We also have to move to mains. We just at prelims right now. Yes.
If anyone wants to ask very specific questions regarding prelims कि mocks कब देना है या किस तरीके से, what is the thought process, because it's completely different ना, तो वो भी आप पूछ सकते हैं. Please raise your hand जिसको भी सवाल पूछना है.
I think most of them have been covered. Like we've had this
Okay.
session.
We can move to mains.
Mains?
Yeah.
Okay. And any other question that you feel like asking about prelims, आप note कर लीजिए, बाद में पूछ लेना. ठीक है? Okay. So mains में first paper is essay. Often neglected because of not having the complete resources or book list. Now, essay does not have a specific book list or resources. At least that was not something I followed. My essay in 2022 was very mechanical. Pastel approach in answers was also implemented in the essay, and that turned out to be disastrous. What you got to do is to develop your own style of writing. Now, everybody says develop your own style of writing, create a flow, your essay should be effective, concise. That is the directions UPSC also gives you. But what is the meaning is that when you see those toppers copies, you don't have to see how, like what they are writing. You have to see how they are writing. How in the sense कि जब वो different dimensions explore कर रहे हैं तो वो continuity कैसे ला रहे हैं, वो coherence कैसे ला रहे हैं, वो आप अपने answers में, अपने essay में कैसे उसको incorporate कर सकते हैं. Secondly, the essay will come with practice. You will develop your own flow with practice. And especially from people with tech backgrounds, we are writing in pointers. Yeah, we say we write in pointers. And these are facts. No analysis, nothing, these are facts. You have to understand. Then it becomes very difficult to analyze a single line from multiple dimensions in 1,000 words in an essay. So, please practice. Practice will definitely not make you perfect, but at least will lead you to that way. And secondly, essay में try to utilize the examples or your observed social realities that you see around yourself every day. बहुत चीजें हम देखते हैं जैसे Larda Ladies was a recent film, right? Most of you might have watched them. Might have watched that. So take away from that, है ना? कुछ take away लीजिए उसमें से कि क्या इसका character था, उसको analyze कीजिए थोड़ा, उसको आप कैसे incorporate करेंगे किसी women empowerment के essay में या किसी gender equality के essay में या किसी men's issues के essay में. आप कैसे उसे ट्वीट करेंगे, कैसे उसे इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे. ऐसे कुछ नए एग्जांपल्स अगर आप लिखते हैं आपके ऐसे में तो दैट शोज कि आप ऑब्जर्वर्ड हैं, आप रियलिटी से कनेक्टेड हैं और आपको इंटीग्रेट करना चीजों को आता है, आपको इंटररिलेट करना आता है. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सेकेंडली, ट्राई टू यूज सम फ्रेजेस, सम गुड फ्रेजेस इन योर एसेज दैट मेक योर स्टेटमेंट्स लुक वेरी कैची, अट्रैक्टिव एंड दैट विल कैच द आई ऑफ द इवैल्यूएटर. So my score in essay was 84 in 22, 97 in 23. I'm hoping much better in 24 because I wrote approximately 8 to 10 essays and I actively made up my mind to use these phrases and these examples and I actively tried कि मेरा example कुछ अलग हो, not the cliche examples that we have. I won't name it because you all know it. Try to divert a little from that and incorporate your own unique examples. Having said that, second paper is the GS1. Now GS1 में society और environment का weightage अभी बढ़ रहा है. For society, Smriti Shah ma'am's lectures are there and they have very good notes. So if somebody is not from a sociology optional background, you can refer to those notes. They are very good, concise also, and they give you the right keywords. And use of keywords is very important in all the papers. क्योंकि वो दिखाता है कि आपको सब्जेक्ट की नॉलेज है. You are going to become a generalist, but you need to have subject knowledge of at least the subjects that you read and study. So try कि आपको keywords incorporate करें. Secondly, history और geography के questions को आपको deal करना शायद मुश्किल हो सकता है, लेकिन try to again focus on the basics and the concepts. Physiography को अगर आपने prelims में अच्छे से पढ़ा है, you will be able to integrate those that knowledge in your main answers. Thirdly, try to incorporate diagrams. Geography में तो आप mapping भी कर सकते हैं. History में कुछ timeline, कुछ flow chart अगर बन पाता है तो you can do that. Society में you can create that hub and spoke model if you are trying to write some factors. These will break the monotony of your answers. क्योंकि I used pointer format in most of my questions, and I understand कि evaluator को लगता होगा क्या हर जगह 2-3 subheadings डाल के 5-6 points डाल के every question is the same. That is not very interesting and engaging for the evaluator. So try to understand the psyche of the evaluator as well. कि उनको कुछ अलग चाहिए हर question में नहीं तो हर paper में, right? So try to do that. Now secondly, GS1 में मेरे कोई specific अलग से resources नहीं रहे थे, which I can recommend to you. Geography के लिए NCERT, history के लिए modern spectrum वो सब same ही था. Society के लिए as I told, Smriti ma'am's notes were good enough. I was from sociology background, तो मैंने अपने notes refer नहीं किए क्योंकि I thought I don't need it. But for all those who are not from the sociology background, you can refer to those notes. Okay, I think we've dealt GS1 aptly. If anybody has questions, yes. World history और post independence में इतने अच्छे से नहीं कर पाई थी. I was not able to cover that very well. But there are some notes. बहुत notes आपको मिल जाएंगे जो बहुत concise हो. Telegram पे you will get some notes. So you can refer to those notes. उसका एक आधा question आएगा. एक आध दो. I think last 2 साल में तो कम ही आए हैं. हाँ जी. So that you can easily cover from that. Yes. Any other question for GS1 specifically? Then we move to GS2. Okay. मेंस के लिए डिस्क्लेमर सारे पेपर्स के लिए प्लीज ट्राई टू कंप्लीट द पेपर. प्लीज मेंटेन अ स्पीड दैट यू कैन मैनेज योर टाइम वेरी वेल. My strategy for attempting the mains paper was 15 markers first and then the 10 markers. 11 or 9 minutes, I don't remember, for the 15 markers and the 7 minutes for the 10 markers. I tried my level best to follow it to the T. I can say that 22 or 23 में or 24 में I was able to complete all the papers except in 24 I was not able to complete 115 marker GS1. But apart from that, I was able to complete my entire paper in all the attempts, all the mains attempts. And in 22, if you guys know, the ethics paper was significantly lengthy, right? That paper also I was able to complete because my goal was to complete. First goal should be to complete the paper. Quality ऊपर नीचे कहीं हो जाएगी. See, excellent answers you can write 6-7, probably 8 if you are brilliant. उसके बाद manageable answers, and then there will be 1-2 questions where you have no idea about what the question is asking, right? And that is true. 22 में there was a question, if I remember, कि IMF कौन सी color coding की warnings देता है? No idea. Applied logic थोड़ा सा कि orange, red, yellow हो सकता है because we see the newspapers. Write something about it from the logic. So even in the questions that you do not know about, try to apply little logic. थोड़ा सा याद कीजिए आपने कहाँ क्या पढ़ा है और उसमें से थोड़ा सा आप कोशिश कीजिए कि वो कुछ beat around the bush भी आप कर पाएं. क्योंकि कुछ भी लिखा होगा तो 10 में से 1-1.5 मार्क्स मिल जाएगा. That is very important for qualifying. If you miss by a single mark or 2 marks. Now coming to GS2. GS2 में my sources are very limited. Lakshmikant जी थी for polity and मतलब sociology, polity के keywords. Governance में vision का value added material आता है, you might know. तो जो NGO, civil society, pressure groups, health, education, ये सब है, you can do it from the value added material because there is no integrated notes for the governance part. You can address that. Governance में it is very important to have good examples of good NGOs, what actions they are taking, or individuals who are contributing significantly to some sector, some area. Health and education में you need to have some data points. कि कितने percentage enrollment है, literacy rate है, women men के बीच में disparity कितनी है, health में, women health में, reproductive health में, all of that. If you have data points, that will be very good. And you will get those data points from a lot of documents like NFHS 5 हो गया, economic survey हो गया that talks about the economic situation. Focusing on women also, so that will help you. In polity, I missed one thing, which is to write as many articles as you can. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हर स्टेटमेंट में आर्टिकल डालना है, लेकिन जहां पे भी आप आर्टिकल के रेलेवेंट अगर कोई स्टेटमेंट या पॉइंट लिख रहे हैं, try to incorporate that article there also. It will create a good impression on the evaluator कि आपको सिर्फ ये चीज नहीं पता है, उसका relevant article भी पता है. That will create a good impression. Okay, and for international relations, I entirely focused on current affairs. Current affairs के notes से ही, मेंस की classes से ही मैंने international relations किया है. And उसमें what I tried to incorporate, one was mapping wherever it was relevant. Secondly, to use a lot of international relations वाले keywords. Let's say there was a keyword called mini-maxing, minimizing the conflicts and maximizing the convergences. Okay, then strategic partnership is one keyword. So ऐसे keywords जो है ना उसको incorporate करिए अपने answers में. That will make your answer again more specific and will appear that you have deeper knowledge of the subject. And thirdly, if you can quote dignitaries like Honorable Foreign Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, that will also give you an edge because that will show that you are well versed with the current affairs of what is going on in the current global situation, the contemporary situation, and you are able to interrelate that with the question that you're being asked. Okay, so that is my sources for GS2. Any questions for GS2? So I'll not be the best person to say this because मैंने reports नहीं पढ़ी. मैंने कभी किसी की नोट्स पढ़ी होगी इधर उधर से या फिर टॉपर्स कॉपी में से जब आंसर्स देखे होंगे ना तो मैंने उधर से आई वुड हैव कॉपीड दैट स्टेटमेंट कि अच्छा ये इन्होंने रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से लिखा है. ओके, वन मोर थिंग नाउ दैट यू रिमाइंडेड मी दैट व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग वे फॉरवर्ड, व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग अ कंक्लूजन, इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग अ कमिटी और उनका सजेशन इन द कंक्लूजन, दैट इज अ गुड वे टू गो. दैट विल मेक अ गुड कंक्लूजन. ओके, एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस? Okay. Now coming to GS3. GS3 has been a little less rewarding compared to the other GS. There could be many reasons. I feel that it needs a lot of data, it needs a lot of facts, and it is very difficult to have facts of all the aspects that GS3 covers because the diversity of subjects in GS3 is immense. So my book list, again I did not have a very specific book list. For agriculture, I relied on current affairs. For its data points, I relied on the economic survey and the budget. For internal security, I think Ashok Dalal is a book. Yes, you can go for that. I read it once or twice and then I wrote my test and I value added to my knowledge through that. Then we have science and technology, again from current affairs. What all we have? Environment, disaster management. Disaster management, I think NDMA guidelines, if you read that will be enough for every other type of disaster. And if you have examples of the recent disasters that have taken place and you can quote them, that would be good. Along with that, if some specific states have taken some specific measures, like Odisha has taken very good measures for cyclone management. So if you quote that, that will give you a boost in your marks, at least 0.5%, 0.5 marks, 1 marks, that will give you a boost. So you can do that. Apart from that, environment में you can quote INDC's Bachao goals, you can quote the statements by the leaders in the UNICEF, sorry, my bad, not UNICEF, UNFCCC summit, my bad. So you can quote all that. That will again give you an edge. And ये सब जो होता है ना ये value enrichment होते हैं. Like basically ocean acidification हो रहा है, global warming हो रहा है, everybody knows. And those points are very very expected. If you give them something which they think is okay, this is good, then you will have an edge of 0.5 or 1 marks. Okay, so try to make your answers different a little by incorporating good examples and good initiatives. Okay, what other subject in GS3? We dealt with agriculture, economy. Okay, economy, you need to have your concepts right, which you already have from prelims, and then you incorporate data points from economic survey and budget. For economy especially, economic survey and budget is very very important. We often fail to understand the importance of these documents, but they are important in the sense that you have the background of the reality we are living in. When you say that the GDP has increased by this much percentage or the savings and investments have increased by this much percentage, that makes the evaluator understand that you have specific knowledge of this subject. Again, helps in improving the score. I think we dealt with the subjects covered in GS3. Okay. Coming to GS4. Now GS4 is a very rewarding paper. As you all know, I'd say it's an optional. These three can determine your selection, also determine your rank to a large extent. So focus on these papers. Why? Because these papers give you a scope to express yourself. जीएस में बहुत स्कोप होता है, लाइक अगर आपको उड़ान स्कीम का क्वेश्चन पूछा है तो आप उड़ान स्कीम के बारे में ही लिख सकते हैं. You cannot give your own opinions. You will form arguments and give facts on the basis of what has been written by experts and given by experts. So GS4 gives you ample amount of scope of expression. How you express is seen in those papers, is seen in that pressure situation, because that does not give you a lot of time to think. So in that case studies, you have ways to innovate your solutions, your answers, show that empathy and compassion that you talk about in section A. When you are writing solutions to the dilemmas that are asked in case study, what their motive is to check if you have the same level of empathy and compassion that you say is necessary in a civil servant while you are giving a solution. Right? Second thing I want to mention is that the resources for my ethics were very limited. There was one book that I referred, and apart from that, I wrote a lot of answers and I memorized the keywords that are necessary in ethics. Okay, those keywords were very instrumental in the sense that मुझे time कम लगता था जब मैं ethics के answers लिख रही हूँ, because I've already memorized them and utilized them multiple times. Okay. Thirdly, ethics में please give equal time to case study and section A. अगर case study आपको 125 marks दे रहा है तो section A भी आपको 125 marks दे रहा है. Do not take 2 hours in case study and then 1 hour for section A, because writing 13 questions in 1 hour is near to impossible, and even if you are able to write, quality compromise हो जाएगी. So try that you can minimize your time taken in case study and you always have an eye on your watch कि कितना time हुआ है. Okay? That will be for GS4. GS4, if you want to ask something specific, please ask.
Please raise your hand. Please ask your question in the mic.
क्या हम सिलेबस वाइज कुछ टेम्पलेट तैयार कर सकते हैं कि समझो कि एम्पैथी पे कुछ पूछा है तो मतलब कुछ इंट्रोडक्शन किसी एविडेंट पर्सन का कोट ही सीधा लिख दिया.
Definitely you can do that. That will help you a lot. Or I cannot emphasize again the importance of PYQs here. What I used to do was I used to brainstorm the PYQs and I used to write them in the pointer format कि यहाँ पे कौन से keywords relevant होंगे. And example, not elaborating in statements but the example. What it does or what the earlier preparation does is it takes you less time to think in the examination and you almost have no time to think. You only have time to write. एक क्वेश्चन के पहले आप देखेंगे नहीं कि ओके इसमें क्या होगा. You just start writing the moment you see. Right? So आप intro conclusions prepare कर सकते हैं. मैंने ये चीज नहीं बोली क्योंकि मैंने ये किया नहीं था. Like I did not prepare अलग से intro and conclusion, but I wrote a lot of answers. I wrote nearly 1,000 answers in this 5-year long journey of GS and optional combined. And so I got a knack कि मैं कैसे conclusions prepare करूँगी. There was an underlying theme in all my conclusions and on the introductions. So you can definitely identify the themes from the PYQs कि क्या-क्या questions आ रहे हैं. You can write the quotes that you feel are relevant. But having said that, जब हम पहले से intro conclusions prepare कर लेते हैं ना, तो हर question में we try to incorporate that. Do not try to do that. आपके intro conclusions would be good according to the PYQ that was asked very specifically. But if the questions demand something else, try to tweak that. Do not forcibly use anything that you've prepared just because you've prepared it. अगर वो पूछा नहीं है तो वो आंसर में मत लिखिए. जो पूछा है उसी हिसाब से आपको क्वेश्चन को आंसर करना है.
Ma'am, I'm unaware if there is an importance of adding anecdotes to the ethics like answers.
Anecdotes, I think that would get a little difficult. You might have scope for that in section A. Specifically, if you are asked questions like, what does happiness mean to you? Or what does integrity mean to you? Now, you can start with the definition of integrity. Then, in example, you can write a short anecdote or a short example in very limited words where it reflects the integrity according to yourself. Okay, but try to keep those anecdotes short because we also want to write content. And our answers should not be full of examples. So you can write anecdotes, but they should be crisp and short.
And also, ma'am, which book you refer to for ethics?
There are a lot of books that are available. And ma'am, I think we have something in Vision itself. Yes, so you can refer to that book. Because see, ethics में क्या होता है ना कि when you're writing definitions or when you're writing let's say introductions or the basic content ki why is it important to have integrity in a civil servant, why is integrity important for a civil servant. All those questions are all almost similar answers in almost all books. What differentiates your answers in ethics is what examples you back it up with and what personal opinion you share in the case studies. That is what matters the most, and that is what differentiates your answers from others. Otherwise, the basic answers or the basic definitions are the same in almost all the materials.
And is there anything like need of these anecdotes in the like GS1, the essay?
Essay, you definitely need good anecdotes, and if you have good anecdotes, that will prove to be a cherry on the cake. I used to begin my essay with an anecdote, relevant anecdote, and if the essay has two sides to it, I'd ensure that I address both those sides with the same anecdote. That shows that you've understood the statement properly and you are able to see the two sides to that statement. So utilization of anecdotes will certainly help you in essay.
And sometimes we might not be able to recall or haven't come across circumstances that needs to be as an anecdote. So not very ethical, but is it good to fabricate an anecdote?
It is not fabricating an anecdote. It's like telling a story.
Okay. Yeah.
You can write your own story, right? You are not saying that I am saying this for a particular person who does not exist. You are saying this is what I understood from your statement and I would like to express it in this manner. That is not called fabricating an anecdote. Nobody has anecdotes for the all the 8 or the 2 that they need to write, right? You also need to write examples. Somewhere you might need to incorporate something that you only have observed or you only know. That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any more questions for GS4? Yes.
And did you have any particular structure for each paper of GS? Did you have any structure like any of the previous toppers who told that while they were writing the answers, they pre-made structure for like GS1 that is structure, for GS2, 3 and 4 that structure. Did you have anything like that?
Okay. So see, my structure was not pre-made in the sense कि अगर president का question आया तो मैं यही लिखूंगी, parliament का आया तो मैं यही लिखूंगी. My structure was intro, body, conclusion. In that body में I address all the subheadings. That was what I very actively kept in my mind. कि अगर क्वेश्चन के 3 सबहेडिंग्स हैं या उसमें से 3 सबहेडिंग्स बन सकते हैं तो आई इंश्योर दैट आई राइट ऑल दोस 3 सबहेडिंग्स एंड माय फोकस वाज आल्सो ऑन मल्टीपल डायमेंशंस कि अगर मैं किसी क्वेश्चन के आंसर को सोशल इकोनॉमिक पॉलिटिकल में बांट सकती हूं तो मैं बांटूंगी बिकॉज़ व्हाट दैट डज ओके आई रोट माय क्वेश्चन अनदर थिंग विद दिस सबहेडिंग हमने लिखा उसके बाद एक पॉइंट कि this we are writing an answer in ethics. I write cognitive dissonance. Then I explain ये कहाँ पे हो रहा है, मतलब कैसे हो रहा है, कैसे इफेक्ट कर रहा है. So what that does when you write a keyword ना, तो evaluator तुरंत वो identify कर लेता है कि the person knows the keyword. That is good because that takes less of his time. That is easier for him to evaluate. कि जब आपने वो keyword mention कर दिया, जब आप direct statements लिखते हैं ना, तो उसको वो keyword ढूंढना पड़ता है. That becomes a little difficult. So if you can write those short phrases before explaining or elaborating on the point, that would be good. And also try to underline the important keywords and the articles that you mentioned and something if you write in your examples which is noteworthy, please underline that. Again, that would catch the eye of the evaluator. So आपके efforts हैं अगर waste ना जाए कहीं भी. Right? So try and underline. I know you have limited time, so maybe you can reduce your time in changing the pens if you cannot. Like if you do that blue and black thing, उसको अगर minimize करके अगर आप underlining पे ज़्यादा focus करेंगे, then that will fetch you good marks.
Did you put in the 5 years?
Okay. So my mentor was only one, Utkarsh sir. He was my mentor throughout this journey of 5 years. And how mentorship helps. A mentor, the right mentor, knows your strengths and weaknesses. They can guide you very personally in the subjects that you are going wrong with, and they can also tell you where you are going right and you need to follow that same direction. So when you have a mentor, also apart from the academic help that they give, they also help you in your emotional turmoils and your ups and downs. And in this 5-year-long journey, obviously I had a lot of them. So anytime I feel low, what a mentor does, he reduces that time where you feel low. या तुरंत उन्हें कॉल कर देते हो, he gives you certain direction कि ये करना है वो करना है या अभी you need to calm down, you need to take a break, or you need to push forward on this subject or that subject. That is what a mentor does. He reduces your bad days or your bad time. So having a right mentor is, I believe personally, was very necessary in my journey.
Yeah, like, did you try any other mentorship for this?
For sociology, for my optional, I had a different mentor.
You told something about essay that mentor for essay.
Yes, I did have a mentor for essay. So I wrote an essay writing course, not mentorship per se. Because mentorship, see, is a very wide term. वो academic नहीं होता है, सिर्फ academic नहीं होता है. The essay writing course that I did was academic. The mentor that I'm talking about, Utkarsh sir, he was there in all academic as well as non-academic questions that I had. So I only had one mentor for GS. For sociology, I had another mentor. Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
So I just heard you mentioning that the answers in ethics should not be full of examples, which is quite interesting to note because I feel that there are two schools of thought when it comes to writing answers and examples. One which believes that after every point you need to mention an example.
Yes.
And other school of thought which says that it has to be elaborative, maybe 2 or 3 examples, but has to be elaborated as to how it is connected to the question.
Okay.
So what sort of school of thought you
Okay, so I think probably I couldn't express what I said correctly. What I meant was our answer should not be full of examples in the sense there should not be 2 examples that take up your entire answer. After every point, I did try to mention an example, but very briefly because you don't have a lot of space as well as a lot of time to elaborate on the example. So have such examples which don't need much elaboration. And secondly, if I wrote 10 points, I try to inculcate examples in 5 points at least. That definitely shows how you relate your elaboration of that particular aspect or dimension of the question, answer, with the reality, with the on-ground reality that some people have, practiced. So I do not mean by any sense that examples are not important. Examples are very important.
And something in general suggestion I was to speak about A words and we need to, because I got the very same means which you have stated, but I could not, I face a different problem when it comes to A words. How do you handle them? Different types of A words, if you could touch on it.
Tailors as in what I mentioned that you should write for your elaboration.
Analyze,
Yes, okay, that way. Okay. So, see, most questions have the need for a balanced opinion. Whether it is examine, whether it is evaluate or analyze. What differentiates is the number of points you write under each subheading. When it's written critically evaluate, what I used to do was I'd write 3 good points and then 5 challenges that were present. Because it is critically evaluated. So you need to identify the challenges with a very policy or the scheme or something else that the concept is talking about. Secondly, the keywords are important when you are balancing your opinion in the conclusion. When it is critically evaluated, you can also highlight key challenges के बाद आप way forward क्या दोगे और उसके बाद you write a more holistic conclusion. And if it's only analyzed, then you can write your way forward in the conclusion itself. So these are the things, and I think more importantly, what matters is जब आप वो आंसर लिख रहे हो, तब उसमें कितनी डेप्थ है, उसमें कितना बैलेंस है. हर आंसर में बैलेंस 60-40, 50-50, 70-30 डिपेंड करता है on the tables. So that is what we need to focus upon.
You did pay attention to the tables, right? I mean, is it something which is a sort of high thing, or you actually have to create different answers when it comes to? You actually pay attention to tables?
Yeah, see, आप अगर critically examine, evaluate, ये सब same ही होता, तो there would be no point in writing 3 different keywords, right? कि examine, evaluate and analyze कैसे अलग है. What I told was कि जब evaluate करने की बात आती है, you can write basic facts about its successes and facts about where it is lacking. What are its shortcomings? When you examine, you will also write where it can improve, right? When you analyze, you will analyze its impacts, its consequences, both positive and negative. So that was what I focused upon, and it is not very hyped up in the sense कि ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर आपने टेबल कुछ misinterpret कर लिया तो आपको पूरा question गलत होगा. That is not true. But at the same time, if you want to address the question rightly, the way the evaluators need it to be addressed, then you certainly have to focus on the tables.
मैम क्या आप डेली आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करती थी ताकि मतलब आपने बताया कि आपके तीनों तीन जो लास्ट अटेम्प्ट्स हैं उसमें आपके सारे पेपर्स थ्रू एंड थ्रू कंप्लीट हुए हैं सेट दैट वन
Yeah.
पर मतलब आप रोज कितनी प्रैक्टिस करते थे राइटिंग में
Okay.
क्या आप मतलब रिवाइज करते थे लिख के या कैसे करते थे
Okay, तो मैं 2021 से almost every day I used to write answers apart from the time before prelims, 2 months before prelims, 3 months that I did not used to write answers, but I used to write daily 5 answers from Monday to Friday. कभी कभी skip हो जाता है, I would not say कि मैंने हर एक week में 5 दिन लिखे हैं, लेकिन it would be false to say that, so I won't. But I tried my best कि मैं daily answer writing करूँ. Apart from that, I also used to write during the mains. I used to write 1 घंटे में 7 questions, 80 marks, which is the need of the hour. So during my mains, I practiced that, due to which I was able to manage my time in the actual examination as well. Right? And daily answer writing क्या करता है ना, वो रोज के रोज आपके आंसर्स में वैल्यूएशन लाता है. अगर आपने पूरी टेस्ट लिख दी, कुछ आंसर्स एक्सीलेंट हैं, कुछ आंसर्स मॉडरेट हैं और कुछ आंसर्स नहीं हैं अच्छे होते हैं, तो वो आप तब कर पाओगे जब पूरी टेस्ट आपकी वैल्यूएट हो जाएगी. एंड देन my focus at least used to be on wow, I have written excellent answers, which were my excellent answers, rather than focusing कि which were my not good answers, not so good answers. So daily answer writing में आपको वो सारे बहुत जल्दी evaluation मिल जाता है, तो आप रोज की रोज उस evaluation को incorporate कर सकते हैं अपने improvement. Okay. Okay. Now can we go to optional? I'll not elaborate a lot on optional, I guess, because everybody might be having different options, right? My optional was sociology, and in sociology I had done a foundation course. Then I went on to write answers, and I had done a crash course during my mains in 2022. But I think what matters most again in writing in your optional is writing answers. Optional also has a different peculiar style of writing, and each optional has its own way. So optional में भी I focused on writing answers in a short time, like what do you say, like time bound manner में मैंने लिखे थे answers so that I do not face a time shortage during my examination. And secondly, what changed between 23 and 24 mains, I believe, according to my personal understanding, would be my focus on PYQs. I wrote the model answers on PYQs, and I also referred to some material, and that was brilliant in helping me understand कि actual examination maybe I could use the same examples and the same points. So for all of your respective optionals, please try and analyze the PYQs very thoroughly. The themes are almost repeated, and if your optional is on a more static side, then PYQs will help you a lot. Any questions? Not sociology specific, but optional specific in general. Okay, so first of all, I was from a technical background. I did not want to choose a technical subject because it has a very vast syllabus, and secondly, computer engineering was not available in that list. Secondly, I thought I need to cultivate a social aptitude when I have to work with a lot of people from very different sections. If I have a holistic understanding, even at the subtlest level of society, that will help me in, once I am in administration. But most importantly, apart from these topics or subjects or factors, is that you need to be interested in your optional. Do not take your optional on the very factor कि क्या trends आ रहे हैं, कितने marks मिल रहे हैं. वो trends हर साल change होंगे और एक साल में इसी साल आपकी exam निकलेगी या नहीं, you don't know. So do not focus कि trends अच्छे हैं तो ये ले लेते हैं. 3 साल बाद वो trends change भी हो जाएंगे, right? Take an optional, choose an optional that you can spend a lot of time with, you can engage yourself in, and after you're done with your optional, you can observe it in the social realities around you. उस subjects को, उस concepts को अगर आप relate कर पाते हैं ना आपके आसपास, that means you have done your optional phenomenally and you will do great in the examination as well. Okay, so I did refer to my foundation and my crash course notes a lot. I referred to Blue Hydampus chapter 14, 15, 1 and 2 very thoroughly. Cover to cover 14, 15 at least. That helps you in methodology and the thinkers part. Because the holistic approach of different thinkers is different, right? The very approach. So that is what you gain from reading chapter 15, and that gives you an overall idea about all the other topics as well. Apart from that, the thing that I mentioned, the model answers of PYQs, that were very pivotal and very significant in helping me improve my answers. And thirdly, most importantly, again, write a lot of tests. Attempt a lot of questions and answers. It will help you cover a diversity of subjects that you might not cover in your from your books or the resources of the book list that you traditionally have. So write a lot of answers. Okay.
And when you think for Indian sociologists, what did you refer to?
Actually, I refer to B.K. Nalla. B.K. Nalla for Indian sociologists. It is great, and that is a good single source to cover Indian sociologists.
I observed that in most of time the question regarding any of the sociological thinker of a paper one, the most of question it always looks like things are getting repeated for the particular topic like sociological thinkers. Is it true? Did you also saw the same thing?
Definitely. See, they have already given you a syllabus. तो मार्क्स में से हिस्टोरिकल मटेरियलिज्म या क्लास स्ट्रगल क्लास कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ही पूछेंगे, राइट? एंड इफ यू हैव योर नोट्स प्रिपेयर्ड ऑन दैट ना, तो इट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट. जो पीवाईक्यूज करने का पॉइंट है वो यही है कि आपके एटलीस्ट ऐसे जो बेसिक क्वेश्चंस हैं वो तो डायरेक्टली आप अच्छे पॉइंट्स आप डायरेक्टली कॉपी कर सकते हो बिकॉज़ यू मेमोराइज देम. So try and make static notes on the subjects or the themes that you feel are repeated like the thinkers, and paper 1 is mostly static, so yes, you can do that. Okay, yes.
Hello. Ma'am, I have 3 years for UPSC preparation, so when should I start optional preparation? I am going to take anthropology.
You're going to take anthropology.
Yes.
Okay. I say as soon as possible.
Should I start right now?
Yes, you can start right now. But because see, the more time you spend with your optional, you will be able to study in deeper depth, right?
Yes.
And that depth will reflect in your answers once you start writing them. So please take your foundation, do your foundation of anthropology, and make those notes very wisely and very well that you can refer to them and they actually help you when you are going to write your examination. Be very mindful of making good notes. Okay, can we move on to the third stage? Okay. Yes, just.
And how did you handle pressure of questions that you know nothing about? There are always questions in mains that you know literally zero things about, and even though you still do it, how did you do it?
So, see, in my 22 attempt, there were a lot of questions. I mean, one in each paper, apart from ethics, one in each paper that I did not know the exact things about. The IMF question that I mentioned. So, I did not know the color code warnings. But then you apply logic. And the things that you might have read somewhere in the newspapers, you try to recall everything that you possibly can and you try to write an answer at least in one page. That was the strategy. See, there are a lot of questions I understand that you know completely nothing about. The question that I left in this GS1, I knew some things about, but I couldn't formulate the right answer to it. And I did not want to formulate a bad answer because that was again from society. And so that was like very humiliating कि sociology optional है और society का answer नहीं आ रहा है. बट वो नहीं आ रहा था. बट उसके अलावा आई थॉट कि अगर इसमें मुझे टाइम नहीं देना है तो आई विल मेक 2 or 3 ऑफ माय आंसर्स बेटर. दैट्स व्हाट आई डिड.
Did you have any option B?
Yeah, I did actually. So apart from UPSC, I was also giving the state civil services examination. Both the examinations are tough to crack. I cracked it in my third interview this time only in March. The results that came, I got rank 55. So that was another thing that I was thinking about. And if not Plan B, like if not state civil services, I might have done something else. Not in IT, but in the UPSC itself, because I have been in this journey for 5 years and the journey doesn't leave you. You can leave UPSC, but UPSC within does not go away. So that I would have pursued something in this field.
What was the routine between pre and mains? Because we have a very short period of time and there is a plethora of things to do.
So if your notes are consolidated priorly, or as I mentioned that if you have your static part prepared, then it becomes a little easier. I wrote answers during that time. I wrote mocks and I analyzed those mocks कि उसमें जो मुझे evaluation मिल रहा है from the evaluator वो मैं incorporate करूँ अपने आगे के answers में. Thirdly, I focused this time a lot on essay. Essay took up a lot of my time, but I am sure it would have shown in the mark sheet as well. ठीक है, तो प्लीथोरा ऑफ थिंग्स तब लगता है ना जब आप पढ़ नहीं रहे। जब आप पढ़ रहे हैं तो एक चीज कवर होती जाती है। So that plethora becomes a little small, and then when you are able to pinpoint कि ये करूँगा और ये नहीं करूँगा, then it's an easier path to travel. That's it.
कोई रिवीजन टिप्स अगर आप देना चाहें तो?
Tips.
कुछ मतलब आखिरी के 2-3 दिन है और कंटिन्यूअसली बहुत सारे पेपर्स होने वाले हैं आफ्टर योर लैंग्वेज पेपर्स।
Yes.
5 डेज है आपके पास
जी।
और उसके बाद बहुत सारी चीजें एक साथ आने वाली हैं, तो आप तब के टाइम पे क्या करती थी?
तब के टाइम पे मेरे पास कुछ डेटा पॉइंट्स होते थे और कुछ कीवर्ड्स की लिस्ट होती थी, मैं बस वही रिवाइज करती थी। देखिए बड़े पॉइंट्स आप रिवाइज नहीं कर सकते, so what I did was flip through my answers, the latest answers that I've written, I flip through them, I'll see the data points that have been written, that I have written from different notes। फिर कुछ अगर different कुछ examples हैं तो I had a note of examples अलग से for ethics, I had a note of keywords for ethics अलग से। तो ऐसे अलग से थोड़ा 2-3 पेज का अपना शॉर्ट नोट्स बना लीजिए और फिर पेपर के पहले वही रिवाइज कीजिए। I think that can help. Okay, yes.
Ma'am, when it's the right time to start your answer writing practice for optional subject, and as you said, you were writing like on weekly basis 5 to 6 answers. So should we include our sociology? Like mine is sociology, so should I include practicing those questions also on weekly basis, or whenever I'm revising my optional, that time I should like include that?
Okay. So are you done with your foundation? Have you like done
Yes.
paper 1 and paper 2 once?
Yes, sir.
Then now is the right time to start your answer writing. Secondly, weekly है या फिर जब आप revise कर रहे हो तब है, will depend a lot on the time that you have. And thirdly, if you're writing answers on alternate days also, that will be fine, because it will not be the case कि जो आपने कल ही पढ़ा है वो आज ही पूछा जाएगा, है ना? तो आप revise करके जब लिखोगे, it will be a brilliant answer. But after 4-5 days, what is the scene? Right? So you will have to remember your knowledge for a much longer time. So try and write it on an alternate day basis, or it does not have to be the case कि आपने वो कल ही revise किया और आप आज ही लिख रहे हैं. I think that you can manage. Okay. Yes. Okay, now any other questions? Yes. Difference between GPSC and UPSC. Okay. So जितना मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया है, GPSC needs more factual knowledge, UPSC needs more analytical skills. दूसरी चीज, GPSC में गुजरात वाले भी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं specifically related to गुजरात history, art and culture, वो आपको एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. Thirdly, GPSC का mains I believe is slightly easier because 250 marks, 150 marks, 15 questions, 20 questions, 10 markers, 10 and 15 markers, right? So, but having said that, no exam is easy. Neither GPSC nor UPSC. आपको समय efforts लगाने ही पड़ेंगे. GPSC maybe you maintain the quality that you wish to deliver in UPSC, and that will certainly help you in your marks. Okay. Anything else? Okay, then we move to the interview stage. I think that will be a very brief thing because जब तक आप वहाँ पहुँचोगे, you will be mature enough to understand what you need to do. But interview demands exactly opposite things from prelims and mains. In the sense that prelims and mains you do almost in isolation, where you are in your own library, in your own space, and you are preparing. But interview needs you to open up, to analyze yourself, to do a SWOT analysis for yourself, and to interact with your peer groups. So my recommendations or suggestions for the interview stage would be: 1, to surround yourself with the right group of peers, the one who are going to add to your academic knowledge, help you in content enrichment, help you in better articulation and structuring of your answers. Avoid getting in any unacademic discussions while preparing for your interview, because if your interview, like me, is in the last month, which is April, you'll feel like you have ample time, but you don't actually. Thirdly, thoroughly prepare your DAF. Anything from your DAF that you can answer very well, will have a good impression on the honorable members and the honorable chairperson. So these are the three things that you can follow in interview, and apart from that, a pleasing personality, a smiling face, a confident person is always attractive. Their personality is always attractive, and it is not called an interview but a personality test for the same reason, that they want to test you on your personality, your opinions, your arguments, and not on your factual knowledge. So that was it from my side for the strategy. And apart from that, I'll say that please be disciplined and please have belief in your efforts. If not today, tomorrow, you will definitely succeed if you put your heart in it. You will definitely succeed. And UPSC is a journey that does not shape you only for this examination. It shapes you for life. So even if some people are not today, if they have exhausted all their attempts and they're not able to, they feel that they've given away the prime of their life. No, they haven't. Because the way they've shaped into as brilliant individuals, no other journey, according to my personal experience, can shape you in the manner that UPSC as a journey and as a process shapes you. So be grateful that you are getting to be a part of it and truly trust the process and be very honest with yourself while you prepare. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie ma'am, for such an insightful session. I would like to take a moment to reflect on such inspiring session and valuable knowledge that ma'am has shared with us. Today has been journey of new learnings, good growth, as well as new possibilities that we are going to encounter in future, all made possible because of our esteemed guests and enthusiasm of you all, as well as the effort of our organizing team. On behalf of Vision Eyes team Ahmedabad, I would extend my heartfelt thank you. Thank you so much. Let's carry forward the lesson that we have learned today and continue to strive for the excellence as well as clear our examinations, crack our examination with flying colors. Thank you once again to all of you. Wish you very, very best luck for your future endeavors and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you guys.